time.
Okay, cool. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Underestimated Podcast. This is your host, Jeremy Owen, back with another episode. Today, we are bringing on someone who is a familiar face to me, but not a familiar face to you all, because the first time that I tried to get him on the podcast, we had a lot of. I wasn't very experienced back then, so I didn't. I kind of was just jumping out there and just trying to, kind of throw noodles to the wall and see what was sticking, but nothing was sticking. So, due to some technical difficulties, he wasn't able to. I wasn't able to push out the interview that I did with him. But today we have, when I first interviewed him, he was still a USC Salk Indian, but now, years passed and some things have changed, and now he is a CIU Ram. I wish he was a USCB Sand Shark, but it's okay. He's a CIU Ram. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Um, right hand pitcher Owen West. Yeah,
Thank you,
woo!
my boy. I really appreciate that. I know, obviously I wish we could be down in Buford, but God had some different timing for me and you both. I know how hard you were pushing for it, but it's all good, my brother. Maybe in another universe we were we were
Yeah,
in
man, I guess my
USCB together.
recruiting isn't as good as I thought. Maybe I have to chop it up with Nick Saban and Harbaugh and see if I can, retool and get him back. I mean, he still got one more year left. Got one more year left.
Hey,
Like, hey,
we
like,
got one more year left, and there's possible talks I might be able to get one of my JUCO years back or apply for a post grad because I'm
hey,
trying to get another year here, so that'd be nice. Because the goal is to get my master's in finance, and it's a 16-month program, is what they say. I think it's like 36 credits for my master's, but I could do 9 in the summer. Or
mhm,
maybe 15 and 12 because I only need 12 to be eligible, and it's all online. So I mean, it would be good, but I mean that's in future development for the
mhm,
people who are listening in on this one. I'll
yeah,
start leaking stuff. All right,
yeah, yeah.
don't
You're
need
you're gonna
Adam
get a lot of
Scheffner
gems
coming
out of the
on
guy.
leaking
He's
this.
he's very intelligent. So, um, the basic answers that you'll get out of the average athlete from a pretty diverse question, you're not gonna get out of him. So, um, all right. So let's dive right in. I usually like to mix it up, but the order that I got right now is pretty much in chronological order. So, um, just take us back to your JUCO days, your JUCO bandit days at USC Salt. Like, what was your mindset when you first got there, and how did that environment just shape you as both a baseball player and just an overall person?
Hey, starting out hot. Love it, Jeremy. Ain't missing a beat. I definitely say coming out of high school, I mean, like I said, Salk was my only offer.
Hmm.
So coming out of high school, I think there was a point where I'll take you back probably to my senior year of high school where I just grinded throughout the fall. Got to a place where I could get some good playing time
Hmm.
on our high school team because we were very competitive. We were always in the mix for playoffs, state championships. We were always in the mix. We are always, that top 10 team when we were at our best. We're, top in the state. But I knew I wanted to play college ball, and then talked to Joy, went on a visit there, and realized, he offered me, realized, okay, made a dream happen. And I think going into there, you never can really trying to, you never really know what it is till you experience it. I think,
Right.
like personally for me, I think experience outweighs a lot of stuff. Like I've known dudes, they come in, dudes that have gone D1, and you just never really know what to expect coming into it. I think you gotta go with the days and go, day by day and just month by month. But I mean, coming into it, it was definitely I wouldn't say a reality check. I knew college baseball is a completely different thing. There's obviously levels to this, levels in college baseball, professional baseball, whatever it means. There's always I like to use the term small fish in a big pond.
Right.
Or yeah, you eventually get to where you're in that small pond, but there's always bigger fish in a bigger pond somewhere else. But I think it definitely changed me in the sense of I remember coming in, didn't know any guys. I knew, had known of I had talked to dudes that I had roomed with, and my freshman roommate Alex Harvey, who you remember, Bryce Miller,
Hmm.
um, and Malcolm. That was my freshman roommates. There were four of us. and Harvey was the only sophomore, so we kind of had, like I said previously talking, we had that experience in him,
Hmm.
and he was kind of just. I just remember getting there. First practice was just like I guess it was surreal in the fact that hey, I'm a college athlete.
Hmm.
I got to the point where I can say I played collegiate sports at least once in my lifetime.
Right.
But it was definitely, I'd definitely say the grind was something that caught me by surprise. I remember, I think I did it in my head one day. How many innings? I think I threw more innings in a month and a half in JUCO my freshman fall than I did my entire high school career.
Wow.
I think I threw like 25 innings my senior year, did 35 innings in a month and a half. I remember it was like, it was something crazy. It would be like I would start an inner squad on a Monday or Tuesday,
Hmm.
just light toss, recover. Then I'd start one on a like a Thursday or Friday, and then I'd throw on the weekend. We'd play on the weekends because we had a fall and a spring season. So it would be like I'd be averaging, I don't know, anywhere from five, I don't know, 5 to 7 innings, sometimes getting up to 8 or 9
Hmm.
on a week. And there would be times, so I mean, like I would pretty much close. I think there was a day where I closed 2 games. It was some crazy stuff, and I just remember being there, and I was like, wow, it definitely beat you down. And then I mean, on top of that, we had classes and weights and stuff, and I mean, it was. I think for me also was just trying to get into a groove.
Hmm.
I've noticed that. Well, I mean, with this being my third fall is just really getting into it, like especially here. When I came here, I kind of told myself if I could survive Salk, anywhere else was going to be a step down. I mean, you know it firsthand. You know what it
Right.
was like. It
Yeah.
wasn't all rainbow and sunshines. I mean, it was definitely um a lot of experience. I always look back at it, and it was a privilege. Honestly, I think it definitely changed my perspective on a lot of things. I think me coming from Greenville, a lot of stuff, a lot of, you know, one of the top, growing cities in the state and the top places to move in the country. I think
Hmm.
now it's there's a lot of stuff to do, and then you go to a little rural area called Allendale, South Carolina, in the middle of nowhere. I don't think if I asked 10 people to point out Allendale, I think maybe one person would get within a 60-mile radius.
That would be.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just funny in that sense. But I think it shaped me in the way that it was more for the better. I think going in, I remember because I'd always go home because I would just miss home. So like fall, I'd be going home and this and that every week, and then it got to the point where my sophomore year I wouldn't go home. I would stay and I would just chill. And I think I got more adapted to the situation. I was able to give back to people, freshmen, when I was a sophomore there, and it was good in that sense of things. But I definitely say it shaped me a lot, and I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah.
Grateful for, Coach Short for giving me the opportunity to go play there and get a degree there and just be able to learn. I think it definitely taught me a lot about myself. And I think because mentally it was a lot. I mean, just JUCO, you're getting the crap beat out of you every day. There's no kind of necessarily rules. I mean, there's rules, but you can, you can get very close to that line in so many bad ways.
Yeah.
But it was good. But I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Let's see. You kind of already touched on this um and what you've already said, but I mean you can kind of just elaborate on it just a tad bit more with this. So JUCO baseball doesn't really get talked about enough. Um,
Mhm.
so like what are some realities of playing JUCO baseball that fans and even high school athletes just don't truly understand until like they're actually in it?
That's honestly, those are one of my favorite questions.
Okay.
Or just, I have a lot of dudes ask me that because they're like, because I think the way sports are now, I think people have kind of adopted the mentality of D1 or bust, which
Mm-hmm.
I tell younger guys, especially freshmen at CIU now, like, dude, you don't have to go D1. I was like, I saw everything in Chico. I was like, we saw dude. I was like, I faced my freshman year. I faced a dude. We were up in Georgia Highlands. He ended up getting drafted third round by the Padres. Two-time JUCO All-American. Went to Western Kentucky after his 2 years at Highlands, like third in the country in hits.
Really?
All-American at Western Kentucky. Ended up facing him. He signed for like $2 million with third round of the Padres. I was like, dude, I was like, they're everywhere. I was like, we faced Ben Joy's cousin in conference play at Flodar. It's like I was like, you see everything. I was like, you face a good enough team, you're eventually gonna face a draft pick. It's like you see 90 on the regular basis. I was like, there's nothing really. I think people, like I said before, it's this D1 or bust mentality, and I don't think that's how it needs to be. I think JUCO is a great place for developing. If you get under the right coach, I think you can develop, and if you use those 2 years wise, then you can really just have a lot going into whatever school you transfer to or whatever. And I mean, JUCO had a lot of fun. I mean, it's awesome. You play a lot of games. It's not that you're guaranteed playing time, but if you go out like fall, you just get a crap ton of reps, and you get a lot of I'd say um experience. Just you understand the grind. You kind of have to become obsessed with it because I'd always say you're at the bottom of the bottom. It can't really get worse than JUCO. I mean, there's nice JUCOs out there, don't get me wrong, like a Gaston, like with all turf field, and like there's other JUCOs and other like Highlands had all turf field. Um JUCOs in California, Tech, like there's really nice JUCOs out there. Don't get me wrong, they have good funding, but I mean, when you have like Salk, I mean, we didn't really have a lot, so we had to be grateful and useful what we had, which
Mhm.
taught me a lot also down the way. But yeah, that's really just my thoughts on that.
Okay, so this one, so question three, I'm looking at it and I don't really want to go there, so I'm gonna go on a wing and I'm gonna go off the dome. Um, so kind of just taking you all the way back, right? Like, why baseball? Like, cause I had this thought and I was like, me, I'm basketball for anything. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
and, I didn't really get the chance to play for, extracurricular reasons, but I'm like, if I have a son, I want him to play basketball. And then I thought about it as I got older and I'm like, the money's in baseball. If anything, I want my son on the diamond before I want him on the hardwood. So, I mean, just taking it back to your young days, why baseball?
I think it was. I think so. I started when I was 8. Just I think my was my grandfather, and just my dad had grown up playing baseball, golf, basketball. He's a three-sport athlete. My grandfather was a track star. Um, and then my other grandfather was just sports. My uncle played baseball. And I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like their whole thought process was not necessarily force sports on me, but just kind of let me try out this and that and see, kind of what stuck,
Mm-hmm.
kind of what I stuck with. And I remember the first time I enjoyed it, and then I ended up playing travel. I started travel ball. I took the jump from coach's pitch, little league, and then I believe right into travel ball when I was 9 or 10 years old. And then I just loved the competitive aspect of it and got into it, and then just played it throughout high school, and then just fell in love with it. Just kind of stuck. I mean, there was a time where I, kind of thought I was done, but then I just kept kind of grinding through it and eventually got over that hump. But I think every athlete goes through it. I think every athlete, I have dudes come up to me and talk to me, especially my teammates, where they're just like, I'm not so sure about the sport. I might just, you all have rough patches. I mean, there's days where, and I think for me, baseball was such a humbling sport. And I think it was also the life lessons to me and also the friendship aspect of it. I mean, think about it, me and you met through baseball, through school at Salk. 90% of everybody here I've met through baseball because I came to school for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably say 85, 90% of the people I met have been through baseball. Met those people through those people I met through baseball. At the end, it's a sport that, I couldn't have asked for more.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, wish I had, I don't know, 4 rings by now, but I
It's
guess
scary.
AJ's
It's
the only
scary.
one that has that title right now, but we're having fun with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Was just the life lessons and just what it gave me in life outside of the sport itself is really just what kind of was, I guess, the driving force and the pivotal point in me just continuing to pursue it and eventually playing it to where I am now in college.
So I mean, you've dibbled and dabbled through a little bit of salt here and a little bit of CIU, but let's really dive into it. So like, I know the whole journey because like as your brother, like I've been
Yeah.
invested in everything, but obviously they don't know. So like, kind of just walk us through the transition from USC Salt to CIU. How different was the recruiting process? And what ultimately made Columbia International University like the right fit?
Um, Trying to think. So it wasn't my only offer. So I had
Hmm.
initially going to my sophomore year fall, I had these coaches from a D2 out in Memphis called Lemoyne College, I believe it was a HBCU, and they came and watched me play when I threw when you came in. I started that one game to open up the fall when I
Yeah,
had thrown
yeah.
pretty well.
Uh-huh.
They initially watched me and liked me, and then saw my roommate Bryce Miller throw, and they liked us, and they wanted us on a visit, and they were prepared to basically full ride us. And I mean, my thing was I was 3 hours from the house from Salk, wanted to be a little closer to home.
Hmm.
Um, I was also talking to Carolina, which was up in Winston-Salem. They were in NAI, which is they're
Hmm.
in our conference at CIU now. That's where my roommate Alex Harvey and another one of my past teammates, Garrett Axum, had gone.
Okay.
And then I also and then I was also talking to a D3 up in Georgia, Piedmont University. Talking to them, I liked their program, liked their school. It's mutual. And then trying to think if that was it. I think that was it, pretty much school wise. Then I'd say there was a lot of pressure on me, especially from my parents. Not like intentional, obviously, but they just wanted me to have it figured out because March had rolled around. We're in the
Hmm.
middle of the season. I really can't put that much focus on getting out to these schools because I'm also in the middle of season myself.
Hmm.
And Coach JJ had asked me, he was Coach Joy, excuse me, had asked me, what are your thoughts on CIU? And I was like, because we had sent three of our players there that I had played with my freshman year,
Hmm.
and he had a really good relationship with Coach Johnson. Convenient enough, also followed Coach JJ up there at the CIU, and Coach Johnson and Joy had told Coach Johnson about me. And he was interested, and he came and watched us play when I had thrown against somebody I can't really remember. And he texted me the next morning, and he also texted Hutto because this Mason Hutto, our second baseman, because he had also come back from injury and had a good game to come back, return from injury. And he had texted us both. And I remember getting out of class, look at my phone, or I'd actually, excuse me, I had to run into Hutto in the parking lot, sitting outside of Spruce Hall. You know that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, CIU texted me, blah blah. He goes, I think they wanted to, talk to you too. And I said, really? And, right on cue, I look and because I didn't have my phone on, do not disturb because I was in class.
Hmm.
And I had a text message from Coach Johnson saying, hey, Coach John, hey, Owen, Coach JJ here from CIU. It just kind of was started like that. He's asking me, he was interested right from the start,
Hmm.
asking me, what I wanted to major in. We were filling out financial forms, all this. And then he offered me, and then I went on tour. I want to say middle of April, and I just fell in love with the place, and I just felt like it was home. And I remember driving back because we were up in Salk was up in Gaston, but
Hmm.
Joy had told me to take the week off to go on the visit. So I went back home. I'm on the drive back. I'm like, you know what? I'm just like, I'm for this. I was just, it feels right in my heart,
Hmm.
my to continue baseball here. So I called Johnson. Literally, I'm like 10 minutes in the house, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm committing here. It feels like home." And he's like, "Good." And I mean, that was pretty much it. But it was a smooth process, I'd say. And I mean, I'd say it was probably about as similar as Salk, really quick. So it
Mhm.
kind of took me a second to realize, I'm continuing not only athletics, but academics also, and
Mhm.
just kind of that whole aspect of just I'm getting paid again to go to school here, which is all, or getting paid to go to school, but also play a sport, and it was a big thing for me.
Okay. Um, I mean, of course we have our talks, like deep down personal talks, but I mean, like as an athlete, every athlete, has adversity. So kind of just tell us like what's one of the toughest moments you faced in your baseball career so far, and how did you respond to it?
Trying to think, of those things. Actually, I'm going through one right now. I had a bad start the other day, just there Friday, and probably one of my worst starts. Came out the year threw really well.
Mm,
First one back, then started the other day, and it's just one of those days. I think adversity was probably my freshman year, and the aspect of I'd previously told you, I threw like 35 innings in the fall.
hmm
I remember getting in that exit meeting, and Joe was like, "Yeah, he's like, you had a really good fall. We used you a lot in multiple situations. I mean, I was kind of like how I was in high school. High school, I would start, and then there'd be games like if we had a midweek and wouldn't throw on the, play on the weekends, or if we had one game when we would typically play three,
hmm
I would relieve. So I started a little bit, relieved a little bit, put me in different situations. I would close, I'd be middle relief, and I would start. So I kind of got all three aspects of the game.
hmm
Um, I walked in. He's like, "You had a good fall." He's like, "You're looking at a possible spot start if needed to be on a weekend." He was like, um, high end reliever, high end usage. And I think I think I had four appearances my freshman spring with 2 innings. I got walked off, I think, twice. So it was difficult. Because I mean, every time I pitched, we were playing competition, and it was hard on me. I think adversity wise, mentally, because it was I think I could have worked a little harder, at least more in the consistency aspect of it. I think I got a little complacent with the fact that he had told me, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. I think I got caught in the idea of, I already have it earned
hmm
and that kind of aspect for me. And then I think that was a wake up call in the spring, was just
hmm
not throwing what I thought was gonna happen in that aspect. And that was why my sophomore year was kind of like, okay, let's figure this out. And that's why when he had the same talk with me my sophomore year, I just continued to grind and just put work at it. And I think that's what led me to having some success in my sophomore year, was just continuing to go at it, no matter the outcomes or what was said. And I think that adversity in my freshman year is kind of what's got me into what I am now.
Okay. So, how did the level of, I mean, I know you haven't jumped in the season just yet, you're still a couple of months removed. Um, but how did the level of competition and expectations change when you arrived at CIU? What adjustments did you have to make physically, mentally, spiritually? I mean, I know you probably have to make more, in season, but like where it stands as of right now.
I definitely say that the hitters are definitely pose a little bit more of a challenge. I'd say my
hmm
strikeout rate's down a little bit more than what it typically was in JUCO or at Salk.
hmm
Like, yeah, I'll strike out one or two, and there's sometimes where I won't strike anybody out. But I definitely say there's some better hitters, quality hitters. I'd say at
Hmm.
least consistency wise, the way our hitters are trained. At least it's us as a team. I don't know. I mean, like I said, we're going opening day is in 5 days. We travel
Really?
to, yeah.
Okay.
So we're on the bus heading to Tiffin, Georgia. Open up
Okay.
against Abraham Baldwin
Hmm.
for that, and then we'll be in Point, Georgia, the following week, and then we'll be in Louisiana the following week after that. So
Okay.
we'll be all over the place. But I definitely say it's a physically. I think this past summer was just trying to get as strong but also explosive as we could.
Hmm.
A lot of heavy lifting, but also balancing it out with some jumps, some hurdles, this that, trying to just have the mass but be able to move with it.
Hmm.
I was fortunate. I was actually able to gain like 10 pounds this summer.
Okay.
Good weight though, not trying to be fat and
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
college baseball. But that I think just really working on the mental game for me right now is
Hmm.
really what I think is going to take me to that next level. Because I was fortunate enough coming back in the position I am now. I got moved up to Group One for just like inter squads, which is basically our A team,
Hmm.
and number one on the reliever depth chart, which is good. Just
Yeah.
I know it's nice, but we just got to continue to show up.
Yeah.
I gotta just stop chasing
Can't be
stats and
complacent. Yeah.
you just yeah, just continue working. I think is what got me this past week was just the complacency of just not doing it. Not necessarily not doing it, but kind of being like, yeah, all I gotta do is just go out there and whatever. No, I think it's just always has to be something, worked on, whether it's
Mhm.
mental, physical, whatever it may be. There's always got to be something at least work.
Okay, so this meeting has like 5 minutes left on it, and then we got like four questions. So I'm gonna try to knock out one more, and then we'll reload again. You can answer the last three, and then I'll get you out.
All right, bet that sounds good.
Okay. Okay, it's a pretty good one. CIU is known for its faith-based environment because,
Mhm.
obviously it's a Christian school. How has being at a Christian university influenced your approach to baseball, leadership, and life outside the game?
That's a great question. I mean, like you said, it's definitely faith. I mean, I have to go to chapel three
Okay.
times a week.
Okay.
So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're at chapel from 11:45, 11:40ish. And a lot of like in my accounting class I'm taking this semester, we always start the class off with a devotional. I definitely say it's definitely Christ-centered sports.
Hmm.
Whereas we always have a team prayer after practice, always praying for something, always thanking God something. Like I mean, this is our new hats we just got.
Woohoo!
Got a little cross on the back. I mean, I
Oh,
got the
that's
new
fire.
got the new
That's
hoodie right
tough.
here. You know, we got some nice gear, but I think it's just I think it plays a big part in the sense that it shows we have to play sport the right way.
Hmm.
There's not I mean obviously sportsmanship is good, but it's got to be a place where we have to be good Christians in the sense of how we treat people. There might be I don't know some crap talking going on the other
Hmm.
team, but there's got to be a time and a place for everything and kind of what we do because we're not only representing um God and like
Hmm.
who we are as people towards Christianity and
Hmm.
religion and stuff, but also CIU.
Right.
We can't, there's a reputation in our hands every time we're. This one lady told me, and she had lunch with me the other month in the fall, and she was like, "We're," she just like, "I love athletes," and I'm like, "Why?" She's a fundraiser lady at our school. She just sat down and ate lunch with me and another one of our pitchers, and she's like, "I just love athletes," and I'm like, why is that? She's like, well, you guys just work so hard. And she's like, she put it this way. She put us as we're like ambassadors for the school. When we go on all these road trips and we play other teams, we're representing CIU. We're representing what this school stands for. And we can destroy it, every bit of reputation that past athletes have built, or we
Hmm.
can continue to steady progress to, we can be a reason why somebody comes here. Or
Hmm.
we could be a reason why somebody doesn't come here. That's the way I like to look at it.
Hmm.
That grand scheme of faith and school and baseball, and just kind of those three in a big triangle.
Hmm.
But it's kind of how I just look at it.
Okay, so I want your thoughts on this because you mentioned kind of in the beginning about, how you can still get one year of JUCO back and then maybe a post grad year. This transfer portal thing is getting crazy and this eligibility thing is getting insane. So I kind of just want your opinion on, I'm not really sure how hectic it's been baseball wise. I know it's been utterly insane in terms of football and basketball, but just want to get
Yeah.
your brain on that.
Um, I mean, it's definitely crazy in baseball, I'd say. I mean, dudes are, I think it's not as, I wouldn't say publicly known.
Okay.
Like it's out there, but I don't think it attracts as much media as say football or basketball. But I've
Hmm.
definitely seen it's definitely gaining its traction slowly
Hmm.
but surely in baseball. I mean, transfers have always been a thing in baseball, but obviously with the addition of NIL and stuff like that, I
Hmm.
think it's definitely taken an impact. Oh, I mean, my whole thing on it is just it's just there's no more loyalty anymore. There may be a little bit, but I think it's not there in the whole entirety that it used to be, the whole
Hmm.
entity it used to be. But I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. I mean, it's not really NAI gets affected every now and then. I mean, we're gonna face a team that they have a transfer from Arkansas, and he's an NAI All
Really?
American. Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, like in the grand scheme of me being JUCO, I mean, we face dudes like that all the time.
Hmm.
That would be D1 bounce backs, meaning that they would go to D1 in the fall. No, they're not going to play and bounce back to a JUCO and try to ball out there and then go back to a D1. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Hmm.
So we face dudes like that all the time. So it's not. I wouldn't say it's not unfamiliar territory and aspects in that thing in that grand scheme of things.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to take on that.
Okay. If a high school player
Mhm.
asks you whether JUCO is a step back or a step forward, what would you tell them honestly, based on your personal journey?
Personal journey. I think I'd tell them it's a step back if you choose for it to be a step back. I
Okay.
think it's on personal. For me, it was definitely a step forward. Obviously, there's some things I wish I could have done better, but
Hmm.
it is what it is. But I think you choose to make it a step back or a step forward.
Hmm.
I think dudes don't understand the value of time in JUCO
Hmm.
and the idea that, like I mentioned before, you have a lot more reps and you have a D1, you have a lot more time and stuff on your hands
Hmm.
that if you could play it well, you could develop yourself really well over those next 2 years and really just pivot yourself into having a really good, career somewhere else outside
Hmm.
after JUCO.
Hmm.
But my advice would just be just continue to grind. It's definitely it's not for everyone. There's days, obviously, college baseball. I don't know. The way I look at it now, it's kind of a job. A lot of my hours. I mean, I spend more hours here at CIU than I did at Salk,
Really?
which
Okay.
is saying a lot. Yeah. I mean, there's times we're at the field. Gosh, I'd get to the field at 2 and not leave sometimes till like 7:38
Wow. Okay.
on the inter squad days. I mean, yeah. But I think if you want it bad enough, then JUCO is really a route for you in the
Hmm.
aspect of developing, which I mean is true. But just the way people are now, D1s, I don't think they really care about developing people in the sense grand scheme of things. The way with
Right.
transfer portal, I think development's kind of been put on the back burner of the sense I can go snag a dude who batted 400 at a mid major and know he's going to be able to compete against these ACC, SEC Friday night arms that are 94 to 96
Hmm.
and got these wipeout things. And if they have a good enough year, they're projected a first round pick. And if they have a better year, they're going to be a top five pick in the draft.
Hmm.
I mean, it's just how it is. But I mean, to answer that question, I think it's how you use it personally. It's just how effectively you use the time and just that stuff. But I mean,
That's
Personally, I mean, I recommend it to a lot of people personally.
okay. Now I'm gonna love the answer to this question because you know me and my bias. Like, yes, you are one of the few people who, at least I've known and I've heard to both talk about um academics equally as much as you talk about athletics. Because a lot of like, just being honest, a lot of dudes don't understand the true outlook and lifestyle of being a student athlete. You
Hmm.
got some that just want to be athletes and some that just want to be students. You rarely find guys who can truly cherish that balance.
Hmm.
So, if we're talking about me and my bias, like, do I want you in the pinstripes in a couple of years? Yes, I do. I do want you in those pinstripes. Like, of course I do. But I know that, in the grand scheme of things, you have your mind set on a billion things that you can go out and do. And so, I mean,
Yeah,
now that you've graduated JUCO, you've gotten your associate's degree,
yeah.
um, and you're playing now at CIU, like what does the future look like for you? I mean, both baseball and in life, and what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind?
Future for the baseball would be obviously, I talk about it with you a lot. It's just that one more ring. I was
Yeah.
fortunate enough my junior year of high school actually. I did get this for a Christmas present. I put it in the stand, I mean,
Hey, look at
like
that
that
dude.
thing's sweet.
Yeah.
And you catch a little peep of that. I think we got the last name somewhere on there. A few
Yeah, I
people
see
can
it.
see
Yeah,
that
right
it goes
there. Yep.
down. Um, it's just ring chasing, I guess, is what the kids call it nowadays,
Right.
chasing a ring.
Yeah.
I want to, if God blessed me to give me another one in my career,
Mhm.
that'd be awesome. I think that's kind of what the final frontier is.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think, I mean, if I ball out and, have the opportunity to go pro, I might entertain the idea for a year or two. I
Yeah.
don't know though. It's whatever happens, happens, I'd say. I'm just gonna keep grinding and just
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, if baseball comes to an end and it is what it is,
Hmm.
I'm gonna try to, you know, if I can get another year back, plan would be come back here, get my master's in finance. I'm fortunate enough to have a job offer out of college, working in a finance company
Really?
like your pop like Pops
Okay.
does,
Hmm.
and just really something I'm really passionate about. Been doing an
Awesome,
internship
man.
the past 2 summers with that company. Really close. They've been in the family for, I mean, pretty much almost as long as I've been born, 15 plus years. Really good
Hmm.
relationship with them, understanding the business. And, I just think it's something that, God put me on this earth, put the
Hmm.
passion in my heart to go do this. And that would be the ideal out of, college and stuff
Hmm.
like that. And then just be able to just kind of just grind it out, look at it
Hmm.
as a new adventure, look at it as a new grind. And I think if I can, have the same passion I did those years all throughout baseball and stuff like that, then I think
Hmm.
it really could just have a really good impact on my career.
Right.
I look at it in terms of like a new grind, not only in life, but just for me personally. But that would kind of be it. Yes, chasing it, get one more. I mean, I think we got a shot this year. I'm gonna be honest. And we got a
Okay.
shot to go. I mean, NAI is hard, but we're fortunate enough to play in Christian League, which if we do win it all, those rinks are very nice.
Okay.
They set us up. Well, they play in the World Series is in Kansas this year. If
Okay.
we're fortunate enough to make the NAIA World Series, we'll be in Idaho. So we're traveling no matter what. I do think we have a shot.
Okay.
Really think if this team can come together, we can make some noise and have a shot at getting back there. And hopefully, been a little bit. They haven't been back since 2024.
Hmm.
I know that's a little bit. That's a year.
Hmm.
It's a season, but to us, every year we're not there is we're fortunate enough we won one in 21.
Okay.
Didn't go back for 2 years. Made a run in 24. Finished Final Four. We're a game away from a championship. Came out of the losers bracket, won like four in a row.
Okay.
But yeah, we want to get back there. We're had a really good team last year, 30 plus wins, and There were some rules we were off by like a 2% win percentage.
Hmm.
So we weren't allowed to go back last year just because of everything. So that really sucked. I honestly think that team last year probably would have won it all and we would be defending champs right now. But we got a new coach under the helm, entirely new coaching staff, new dudes. I mean, it's a new team from scratch, but honestly, I'm liking what it is. I'm liking where we are. I'm liking how well we're molding together as a team, what stuff's been looking like recently. And,
Hmm.
I and just the way we are, I really think we're in a good position if we can play really good against these conference opponents and have a really good year. And I think, it's just I always say it's getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all it is. Getting hot. We get hot going into that regional, into conference play, then I think we have a legitimate shot of winning it all. But that pretty much answers what is left in the career of Owen West.
Okay. Well, I mean, um, that is all that I have. If you would like to display any more knowledge upon us, then we would be glad to take it on. But
I mean, I think that's all you got. Obviously we'll try to see. Hopefully I have time. We'll try to get a mid-season interview, update the
yeah,
folks on how the year is going, see if
we've actually discussed doing like a series, some sort of baseball series. I mean, we've made a logo for it. We discussed a name for it.
yeah, we've discussed it. We just have to, kind of put it in
Got to put it in
place and
action. Yeah.
yeah. But I
So
mean,
that's still up in there.
it's still up in the air, folks. I'm sorry. I know we're teasing you guys right now, but
Yeah, I mean,
we're
but you
both
know, you gotta
busy. We're both
understand.
busy people.
You're the student athlete, and I'm just a student. So you try to
I
mix
mean, you're
those
an athlete in
things.
himself, folks. This guy's good. This guy's an athlete in himself. If he had my height, I'm pretty sure he'd be in the NBA right now.
I hear that way too much, bro. Like,
Or he'd probably be playing shortstop for my Boston Red Sox.
oh my gosh.
Come on now.
In your dreams, pal. In your dreams.
Well, I'm gonna keep on dreaming. It sounds like a good dream.
Sounds like a nightmare to me.
Come on now. Everybody's got to have a villain in their story.
I guess it's fair. If I want you in pinstripes, then you would want me in that blue and that red. So
Exactly. Be a
fair.
good change of scenery, I guess I'd say.
All right, brother. If you keep balling, man, I will talk to you soon. The goal is that if
Hmm.
my class schedule stacks up, like I was at Salk, I can get back to my regular upload schedule, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's good.
So gonna
Okay,
hit the
well, that's
ground
wonderful.
running and get this edited. And my goal is to have it out by noon tomorrow. So hopefully by noon tomorrow, if you're not,
Perfect.
doing any
Yeah, I'm about
groundwork,
to
you get
say
me
because
running.
I'll be on the lookout for that because we don't have school tomorrow because of MLK.
Right.
We do
Yeah.
have team weights. I want to say 8 in the morning tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be on field practice because it did rain here and our field's kind of underwater and
Mm-hmm.
it is about 41 degrees. So I don't think that water is going away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to rain a little bit more, I think. I don't know though. It's also kind of sunny outside, but I don't know what the plan is on that. I know we leave early Friday morning to go to Georgia, open up the year. So that'll be good. But I mean, other than that, I think that's all I got. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on here like always. And
Yeah, I
I feel like,
appreciate you sticking with me, man.
of course, big
Hopefully we
dog.
can do
Well,
double what we would have done the first time. Let's look at it
I
that way.
love that.
Double
All right,
up.
brother. Well, you have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna go watch some football and try to relax.
All right, love, brother.
All right, much love.